You know that moment when you realize something's wrong with someone you love? Not the forgot your anniversary wrong, the wake-up screaming wrong, the kind where their smile doesn't reach their eyes anymore. And you start wondering if those ever were their eyes to begin with. Clara was the love of my life, the kind of woman who'd sing Bohemian Rhapsody while folding laundry, always butchering the high notes. She hated horror, got jumpy during Scooby-Doo, for crying out loud. That's why what happened, it wasn't just scary, it was a betrayal. It started small, a shadow that slithered left when Clara turned right. Coffee that tasted like salt when she made it. Then, 3 Tuesdays ago, I came home to find every mirror in the house covered with sheets. The reflections were twitching, she said. Laughed like it was a joke. But her laugh, it cracked at the end, like a recording glitching. I should have run then. But love makes you stupid. Makes you ignore how the dog would whimper when she pet him. Right up until the night, I saw her peeking at me from the hallway, her left iris flickering black for exactly 3 seconds. The first peeking incident? That was almost comforting compared to what came next. At least then, she still looked like Clara. I was making coffee, half asleep, when I saw her, just those wide eyes peeking around the hallway corner. One strand of dark hair had fused to the wall like a spider's anchor line. I laughed, called her a weirdo. She darted away, so fast her shoulder hit the door frame. Didn't react, just scuttled, like her bones didn't work right anymore. That afternoon, I found her collection. 37 bottle caps, one for each day we'd lived there, arranged in a Fibonacci spiral. Underneath, our steak knives plunged into a photo of us at Coney Island. The knife through Clara's chest hadn't torn the paper, like it phased through her. That night, I woke to wet sound from the bathroom. Clara was brushing her teeth, except the toothbrush wasn't moving. She was just pressing it hard enough to leave angry red streaks down her chin. Her reflection in the mirror? It kept brushing normally. You're watching, she murmured, proud, like I passed the test. The final warning came at 3:37 a.m. Orange juice in hand, I felt that crawling sensation between my shoulder blades. Looked down, and there she was, peeking up from behind the kitchen island, grinning with lips stretched too wide, eyes black as spoiled milk. But the worst part? Her neck twisted sideways, vertebrae audibly cracking, just to keep staring as she scuttled away on all fours. Hands slap-tie like raw meat. I told myself it was sleep deprivation, stress. Maybe she was playing some elaborate prank. But that night, ripped away all my delusions. I woke up at 2:37 a.m. to an empty bed. The sheets on Clara's side were ice cold, but damp, like she'd been sweating motor oil. The air smelled wrong. Not our lavender laundry detergent, but something metallic and sweet like old coins and syrup. That's when I heard the breathing. Not from the hallway, from inside the room. Shallow, wet inhales, coming from under the bed. I reached for my phone, the blue light burning my eyes. As I turned, I saw it. The slow rise of fingers curling over the edge of the mattress. Not grabbing, just resting there, pale in the moonlight. The nails lengthening as I watched, curling into hooks. Then the head rose, not lifting, unfolding, too smooth, like a stop-motion film missing frames. Clara's face came into view, but her features were smudged, like a painting left in the rain. Her lips peeled back in a smile that showed every tooth, including ones I didn't remember her having. "You're awake." Her lips stayed sealed. The words bubbled from her sternum, the bone pulsing like a second mouth. I caught a glimpse of movement behind the skin, something shifting in the dark. I threw myself backward, scrambling for the lamp. The light revealed nothing, just our bedroom, empty and still. But the sheets on her side were now twisted into ropes, knotted in perfect nooses. And the smell, God, the smell clung to the back of my tongue for hours. The next morning, Clara made pancakes, perfectly golden, just how I liked them. She hummed as she flipped them, her back to me. When she turned, her smile was normal. "Warm. Sleep well?" she asked. I nodded, my coffee trembling in my hands. That's when I saw it. A single long, dark hair baked into my pancake, coiled like a noose. I told myself the pancake incident was the end, that I'd call a doctor in the morning. But that night, the shower changed everything. The water was scalding hot, yet my skin prickled with cold. That's how I knew she was near before I saw the shadow through the fog glass. The curtain didn't move. Her head liquefied, oozing through the gap in a rope of flesh. It reformed inches from my face. Strands of her hair, now embedded in the shower wall like roots. Water dripped from her nose onto my collarbone. Her pupils had swallowed her irises whole. Just black pits reflecting my naked terror back at me. "You look delicious," she rasped in a voice that wasn't hers, gurgling like a clogged drain. Then crack. The bathroom door slammed itself shut hard enough to split the mirror. But the glass didn't fall. It hovered, shards rotating to point at me like knives poised to strike. I locked myself in, back pressed against the door as her giggles started. Not from a hallway, but from inside the goddamn closet. The slats were too narrow to see through until her eye appeared, bulging against the wood until veins spiderwebbed the white. Her whisper oozed through the gap. "PeekABoo." That's when I ran. Downstairs, my keys were in hand when I heard it. The trunk at the foot of the stairs, the one she'd hidden in before, now vibrating with something scratching frantically against the lid. Not knocking. The scratches spelled, "Let me," in Morse code. I bolted out the door so fast, I left my shoes behind. At my brother's house, I almost convinced myself I'd imagined it all. Until 4 a.m., when the tapping started. There she was, Clara, pressed against the second-story window like a spider, her jaw unhinged as drool streaked the glass. In her hand was our wedding photo, but she'd torn her own face out of it. The scrap pinched between her fingers read, "Your turn." The police found nothing, of course. No drool, no photo, just me, wild-eyed, babbling about black eyes and stretching skin, while my brother's wife whispered, "Maybe you should sleep." But I knew whatever was wearing Clara wasn't just in our home anymore. It was learning, adapting, and the game wasn't over until it wore my face too. The police closed the case. Domestic dispute, they called it. Clara was declared missing. Not dangerous, not a monster. Just another unhappy wife who'd walked out. But I knew better. I'd seen the way her skin rippled that last night, like something underneath was testing the seams. I moved cities, changed my name, even got a dog. A big one, the kind that growls at mirrors. But 3 months later, I came home to find my kitchen window open. Just a crack. And on the counter, a single bottle cap, the same kind Clara used to collect, balanced perfectly on its edge. No fingerprints, no signs of breaking in, just that, and the faint smell of old coins and syrup. The police closed the case. Domestic dispute, they called it. Clara was declared missing. Not dangerous, not a monster. Just another unhappy wife who'd walked out. But I knew better. I'd seen the way her skin rippled that last night, like something underneath was testing the seams. I moved cities, changed my name, even got a dog. A big one, the kind that growls at mirrors. But 3 months later, I came home to find my kitchen window open. Just a crack. And on the counter, a single bottle cap, the same kind Clara used to collect, balanced perfectly on its edge. No fingerprints, no signs of breaking in, just that, and the faint smell of old coins and syrup. That night, I dreamed of her. Not the thing she became, but the real Clara, the one who'd laugh at bad puns and cry during dog food commercials. She stood at the foot of my bed, tears cutting through the dirt on her face. "I try to warn you," she whispered. Her voice was crisp again, the real Clara. But her pupils kept splitting vertically, like a lizard's. Asterisk something behind her ribs echoed the words a half second later. I woke up with my back pressed to the headboard, sweat pooling in my collarbone. My dog was gone. The front door was unlocked. And on my phone, one new voicemail. Static, then breathing, then a voice that wasn't Clara's, wasn't human, but knew my name. It said, "Peek." I don't correct my dog when he growls at mirrors anymore. Funny thing about fear, it's contagious. The way your brain starts noticing patterns. Like how your bedroom door creaks at 3:37 a.m. every night, even when it's shut tight. Or how your cat freezes mid-step sometimes, staring at something behind you with its pupils blown wide. You'll tell yourself it's nothing. That's what I did. But here's the truth no one admits. Once you really see how thin the world is, you'll start noticing the gaps, the silence between heartbeats, the shadow that flickers in your periphery when you're alone. So go ahead, turn off this video, check your locks, laugh it off. But later, when you're lying in bed and your phone screen glows in the dark for no reason, we'll both know you're wondering, you're next.